The note that you can really emphasize at the end of a measure is the pickup note. This pickup note leads us back to 1 and 1 and 1. So you lift up, you pick up 1 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1, 2, 3, 4 and 1. So this is a signal that something's going to happen. So it's kind of like a miniature build-up. You can consider it a setup to the 1, but it specifically has the name pickup note. Now you could have 2 pickup notes and a 1. So now you definitely have some motion because you have more notes. Remember, more notes means more momentum, more motion. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 1, 2, 3, 4, and a 1. So it kind of rushes into the 1. So anytime you want to create that rushing feeling, do that. You can have a pickup note to any pulse, and 3, and 1. This is like the bossa nova beat. 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4, and 1. So anytime you want to lead somebody to a pulse, put a pickup note. Or if you want a rushing feel, and a 3. Same as and a 1. So be careful when you put a lot of notes in somewhere because it can get really muddy, especially if you have 2 people trying to do that. Most likely they're not going to line up together. It's going to sound like blah, blah, blah. Instead of da, 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 it's going to sound like blah, blah, blah. So you only want one person playing and a 1 or and a 3. Any kind of 16th note build-ups, da, 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 da. Anything like that should be on a very sharp-sounding staccato instrument, not on a loose instrument like a shaker or a rattle for sure, because it's just too fuzzy sounding. So you're not going to hear that cha-cha-cha-cha-cha. You're going to hear zah, 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 which is muddy. We don't want muddiness. Okay, what else can you do? You can play what's advanced timekeepers often mix playing on the count with off the count, and maybe even double off beats, and it can get really, really crazy. So they may do something like 1, 2, and 3, and a 4, and a 4, and. So it's really cluttery over here. That's the build-up, and it's very syncopated, very off the beat. So if you're an advanced timekeeper, you can pull stuff like that off. I should explain that clave means key. So a lot of music is tied into the key. And that means they start their phrases, their melodies on some part of the clave. These are played on loud instruments like the clave sticks, and often it's a 2-measure phrase. Here's the first measure, here's the second phrase, the second measure, so it's a 2-measure phrase. And this is called the son clave. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. So because of the structure of this, people know whether you're in here or in there, and so it tells them you're in the first measure or the second measure, because there's something different in each measure. And you can really hear this 2, 3 right next to each other, and you know that you're in this measure. So it helps people keep track of what measure they're in. So it's more than just a steady timekeeper. It is a long cycle, a 2-bar phrase that is so unique that people can tell what measure they're in just by listening to that instrument, the clave, the cowbell part. So you can get into what's called time guidelines, time patterns, bell patterns, palito patterns. So it can get quite complicated. And it's for advanced players only. So when you're on a low drum, you're basically trying to bring out the bass notes of the mother drum groove. Or adding in, anytime you feel like there needs to be some kind of beat reinforcement or pulse reinforcement, if that's your pulse, You can always bring that out, even if the mother drum groove is not doing it. If you feel it needs it, you bring that out. You can always add, so the low drum part can play all these things, and whatever the mother drum is doing, and it can add build-ups at the end, pickup notes at the end, pickups to the groove. You can even, do some echoes of the pulse. You can echo the pulse. You can even do a pickup to the pulse and an echo, so you go 1 and 3 and. So you can do several of these types of things, but you don't get too crazy on the low drum. High drum parts, the child drum part, often does a counter or echo of what the mother drum groove is doing. So if the mother drum groove is 1 and 2, and this being a clap, 3, 4 E, and maybe these are opens and this is bass, and this is bass. So you have something like, if this is the mother drum groove, you have boom, boom, cha, boom, da-da, boom, boom, clap, boom, boom, clap, boom, da-da. If that's the mother drum groove,